Hi guys, it's Drew again from 1075, and today we're going to install a first-in console into a Tahoe. All right, so the first thing we did was we took out the factory console from the truck. I already got everything wired up here for the board in the back. So now it's time to slap in our first-in console and get it wired up. So what's cool about these consoles is that everything is CNC'd to pretty much a precise measurement, I would say. They kind of just slap right in right off of some of the factory bolts. Up here, there's factory studs that we'll use to secure the front of the console down, and it's a pretty nice fitment. All right, so now that the console's in and tight, I'm gonna throw the seat back in just because I like to be a little bit more comfortable when I wire the board for these. So right now I'm just gonna measure the floor that's in here, because what I like to do is grab another piece of plastic and I'll actually wire everything in my lap and then set the board down on this board, just because it makes it a little easier. So I'm just gonna head into the plastics department, and we're actually just gonna round off these edges so they're not sharp. Now we got our edges nice and smooth. So what's gonna happen is this is just gonna slide down in here. We'll just screw that into the floor here. And it just makes it a little easier, because if you ever have to pull this apart or anything like that, you can kind of just get it out of your way and get your console out if you need to. Everything's here to be wired, so we'll have our gang blocks, ground stud, and everything that's coming from the back of the truck or from the face plates. It's gonna come down to this board and distribute from there. So now that we have our gang blocks screwed down and our ground stud screwed down, I'm just gonna get our wire together and mount it to the board also. So this car is getting a link module, and it's also got the sync for the GPS for syncing to other cars. So let's get that stuff mounted in quick. The blueprint sync, so the GPS and the windshield gets plugged into this. What I like to do, and again, it depends on who you ask, I like to preamp tape them to the side of the console. One of them is gonna go to the sync module that's in here. This one here will end up going to our controller, along with this Cat 5. This one's for the link module that plugs into the OBD2 port. That'll get plugged into our splitter, like so. What I'm gonna do now is get the 12-volt outlets that we have integrated into the faceplate. I'm gonna get those wired up. This one in the center is actually just gonna plug into the factory plugs here. We'll get that on. We'll get the Argus that we put in the faceplate. We'll get that wired up, and then we'll move on to the back part with all of the radios that are gonna be here. Okay, so we got the top part of the faceplate done, wired in our 12-volt sockets. We have our Argus wired up, and our controllers with the two Cat 5s coming from the link and sync and to the controller. What I did was just bundle up all of our wires. This way it's movable, and when it comes back down, it still looks nice, but if you ever have to service it, you got enough slack to do so. So everything's ran down to the gang block. It's all plugged in, everything like that. So the next step is just to plug everything in, and we'll also get all of our speakers that we ended up putting into the headliner. We'll get those plugged into these radios accordingly, and that'll wrap it up for this console. So yeah, everything serviceability wise is here. You can fill out your faceplates, get down there, buy your fuse panels if you need to. Anything we need to do in the console is accessible now. All right, so now that we have everything installed, we have our fuses laid in, we have power to the back now, so we have power up here. That's really about it. Everything else works now. We got our radios, our Argus is installed, and we have our lights, so that's about it. Thanks for watching this week's Talkin Shop. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you send them down below. We'll get back to you. And if you're looking for your next build, make sure to reach out to us.